Hello? Hello?
I just got it, Munna.
That's fine. Did you test it then?
I'm afraid of doing it myself and take Anu with you, okay?
Oh, we'll be there in a while.
Where is it?
It's here in the cellar. See, this is it.
Is this a magic lamp?
I'm not sure. Let's give it a try. Just rub it. And if it's a magic lamp for real, the genie will come out of it.
Will the genie give us whatever we ask? Right, Dia?
It must be an old household item, not a magic lamp.
Let me see.
Namaste, kids. Don't be afraid. You just released me from this cursed lamp. By the way, I'm a friend of those who hold this magic lamp. What do you want? Ask without fear.
I need a long hair doll.
I want a brand new bicycle.
I wish to have a carton of chocolates, 10 pizzas, 10 meat rolls, and an ice cream which is as big as a bucket.
I'm helpless. I can't create all these out of nothing. If I could, I would have gifted a bag of rice to all the poor in your country.
What a shame. You can't create even a cup of ice cream? The genie that we have come across in stories could even build a mansion out of nothing.
Kids, nothing comes for free, nor can it be made that easy. Success is the fruit of hard work. Through education and wisdom, you can achieve anything in life. I can let you have wisdom and you can gain out of it.
Will you make me a top scorer in the final exam?
If I make you so, I'll be denying justice to the student who worked hard for it. My son, there is no shortcut to success.
How will you provide us wisdom?
This is the globe of wisdom. Place your right palm over it and utter thrice. Lead me to the shadows of the wisdom tree. The globe of wisdom will bestow you with knowledge on anything. Now, come on, take this.
How will this ball of knowledge teach us?
Ball of knowledge?
He's making fun of the globe of wisdom by calling it a ball.
Anu, what shall we ask for?
We'll ask him the recipe of chicken biryani.
Oh no. Munna, the only thing that you think about is eating. Do you have nothing else to ask?
What's life without food?
Let's ask him about Bapuji.
That's fine. We can ask about Bapuji.
You're the one who invited him by rubbing the magic lamp. So you try it.
Lead me to the shadows of the wisdom tree. Lead me to the shadows of the wisdom tree. Lead me to the shadows of the wisdom tree.
Namaste, kids. What do you want?
We need to know about Mahatma Gandhi.
What do you want to know about Bapuji?
The entire thing about Bapuji.
That's good. Let's start.
Can't you appear to us in a different form? I mean, in a more pleasing form.
Sure. Well, who's your favorite teacher?
Meena ma'am. She tells us a lot of stories and never scolds us.
Hi,
Meena ma'am?
Children, what do you want to know about Gandhiji?
Everything, ma'am.
Do you know who he was?
Father of our nation.
He fought against the British and freed India from colonial rule.
Gandhiji was not alone in fighting the British. Our freedom struggle was a great teamwork. Many leaders and thousands of Indians were there in the freedom movement. Gandhiji was the prominent figure of our freedom struggle. Porbandar is a coastal town in Gujarat. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born there on 2nd October 1869. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was a Diwan of Vankanagar. In those days, Diwan meant the Prime Minister. His mother Putli Bai was a pious woman. She was extremely devotional and used to fast on many days.
Ma, you can put an end to your fasting. The sun is visible now. Oh no, the sun has gone into hiding.
It's okay, son. Maybe God does not want me to end the fasting. And what's the point in fasting if I am too eager to put an end to it?
Karamchand Gandhi became the Diwan of Rajkot when Mohandas was 7 years old. He had his primary education at Rajkot. He joined the high school at Kathiawar when he was 12.
Children, our education inspector Mr. Gales is on an inspection today.
I have been told that you all are very good in your studies. Let's give it a test. I shall dictate 5 words and you'll have to write it down. Okay? Write it down. Ladder. Kettle. Interest. Did you write it down? Requirement. Retirement.
You are the only student who spelt it wrong. I asked you to copy it from the next student. Still you didn't do it. You ashamed me before the inspector.
Sir, I thought you were invigilating, and copying is a wrong thing to do.
Don't be Harishchandra, my boy. If needed, there's nothing wrong in doing it.
Mohandas never considered cheating at the exam to be a good habit. He thought, why, everyone can't be like Harishchandra? He was deeply influenced by the character and integrity of Maharaj Harishchandra. It was at that time Mohandas got a book of epic stories. He read the story of Shravan Kumar from it.
Shravan Kumar? Who's he?
Long, long ago, there lived a Maharshi called Shantanu along with his wife. Both were well into their old age and were blind too. They had a son called Shravan Kumar. He literally lived for his parents.
Son, we are aging. Don't think we have too much time to live. Before it's too late, we'd like to go on a pilgrimage to all the holy centers in Bharat.
I'm ready to take you to any corner of this world. I will be happy about it. We have arrived at Ayodhya, the kingdom of Maharaja Dashrath. Let's take rest for a while.
Son, we are feeling thirsty. Can you go somewhere and fetch us some water?
Sure, why not? I'll be right back.
Where's that deer hiding? I think I hear a deer drinking water. Let me dart an arrow in that direction. Oh no! I aimed the arrow thinking it was a deer.
Maharaj, my blind parents are thirsty and is waiting for me. Please get them some water.
Maharaj, he was our own eyes. He was our world. We saw the world through him. And without him, life is meaningless to us. Now you have killed him. Maharaj, we won't curse you because it is in the hands of the Almighty. But I have an intuition that you will too have the fate of leaving this world in grief because of your son.
He is the right moral I can follow. I will live a life for my parents. They are like God to me.
Mohandas married Kasturba in 1881. He was only 12 then, and Kasturba was just 13.
Marriage at the age of 12?
Yes, in those days, children were married off at a young age. This practice was called child marriage. It was almost during that period when Mohandas picked up smoking. It was not because of its taste, but to enjoy sending out its smoke in different styles. And when he fell short of pocket money, he began to steal from his servants' savings. In order to settle the debt resulted out of smoking, Mohandas stole a piece of his brother's bangle and sold it. But he was burdened by the guilty feeling of having committed theft.
Respected Father, I did a grave mistake, and I am unable to hide it from you. But I am afraid my misdeed will hurt you. I had a debt of Rs 25. To settle it, I stole a piece from brother's bangle and sold it. I am aware of my misdeed. You can punish me for my act, and I beg, please don't get upset over me. Hereafter, I'll never steal.
Karamchand was deeply impressed by the honest obedience of Mohandas. Instead of punishing him, Karamchand felt proud of his son, and he showered him with more love and affection. His father's deep love for him washed away Mohan's sins.
Mohan, our Beniya community is critical of your traveling to London. Don't get serious about it. You must become a barrister. You know, our father is no more. You're our family's only hope. May your journey fruitful. My blessings with you.
If you're too insistent, you may go. But I am scared of leaving you to an unknown big city like London. If only your father was alive. In London, you will be compelled to have non-veg and even alcohol. I can't even think of such a situation. Oh God, how will I send my child to such a faraway place?
See, mother, don't you believe me? Don't you know that I have vowed not to lie in my life? I won't go astray. I assure you that I will not eat non-veg or drink alcohol over there. Nor will I use it throughout my life. That's a promise. I'll keep my word with mother. If I am to live in London having non-veg, I will quit my studies.
Mr. Gandhi, you have been in London since 3 months. You cannot survive the winter here without having non-veg and liquor.
Haven't I told you? Initially, I avoided non-veg to keep my promise given to my mother. But now that's not the case. I have turned to a pure vegetarian.
It's okay, whatever you wish. However, as a student of Oxford, you are expected to learn to dance. Why did you stop that?
Yes, I did. My body is not flexible enough to learn dancing. And I have stopped learning piano, violin, and public speaking too.
Don't you want to be a respectable person in society?
Mr. Majumdar, I have come to London to become a barrister. In no way are these helpful for it. A man should become respectable in society through his conduct and not through such mere show-offs.
We didn't inform you of our mother's death, as we thought it will affect your studies. Mohan, why are you sitting idle even with a barrister degree? Here it seems very difficult to find a placement without manipulating. If you are willing to go abroad, I can arrange you a job.
Where to?
South Africa. The Dada Abdullah and Company has a vacancy. The job is for 1 year. All expenses will be met by the company. The salary is good too.
I am ready. It would be a great support to our family.
Hey Coolie, you're not supposed to travel in this compartment. Move to any other compartment.
But sir, I have a first class ticket and I'm travelling in this compartment from Durban.
This compartment is not meant for blacks. If you duplicate, I will have to call the police and throw you out.
It's better that way. I should fight against apartheid of whites. I shall fight for all Indians in South Africa. From today, my aim is to work towards social justice.
Gandhi Bhai, so Indians here will have an association from now on. The name that you have chosen, Natal Indian Congress, is interesting.
I know British won't like this name. But Congress is the lifeblood of India. I strongly feel the need to introduce it here.
And you were chosen to be its secretary rather unanimously.
Thank you, Abdullah Sahib.
Father, why was your agitation named Satyagraha?
Children, the word Satyagraha carries the very philosophy of our struggle. We are not into causing pain or disturbance to anyone. If anyone does it to us, we will accept it with pleasure.
Satyagraha is a path of non-violence and truth. Earlier, it was named as Sadagraha, and later, it was renamed as Satyagraha. Meaning is standing by the truth.
Why should we pardon those who are cruel to us? In such a case, what's the point in safeguarding truth?
Ultimately, only truth will prevail. Any victory won through violence will not last long. Don't harbor ill feeling towards anyone. All are equal. Both the scavenger and the temple priest are equally noble. In our Tolstoy farm too, all are equal. Everyone is willing to all kinds of work without any gender bias.
General Smarts is clamping down our third Satyagraha agitation. The mine workers who participated were brutally beaten up.
I am aware of that. That news is indeed disheartening. The mine workers are already in hardship. Above that, they are being heavily taxed again. At any cost, we will not back out from agitation.
The agitations led by Mr. Gandhi is making news in India and England. It's getting tough to defend.
Sir, it seems we'll have to accept their demands.
That seems the only way out. Settle their demands.
Gandhiji's agitation in South Africa through non-violence brought him world attention. He returned to India in 1915.
We welcome you to the freedom movement to make our country a sovereign republic. And your services are needed for the country. Before entering the arena of politics, you must know India. India is a land of cultural and linguistic diversity. You must understand its sensibilities before commenting on the current political scenario.
Absolutely. I value your opinion. I must know my country, and it will be my priority.
Gandhiji extensively travelled across India. It was through his travels that Gandhiji came in close quarters with his country, especially its rural folk. In 1915, Gandhiji established Satyagraha Ashram, and 2 years later, it was shifted to Sabarmati.
I have dedicated my life pursuing truth. I will live for it. If need be, I will give up my life for its cause because I consider it as a pilgrimage.
Bapuji, why are we observing prayer in the outdoors of the ashram? Can't we build a prayer hall?
Majority of Indians are living in acute poverty. Our aim is to uplift them. Why should we think of a prayer hall when there are millions of homeless in our country? Every prayer should come from one's own heart. We need not shout prayers at the top of our voices. It is not a matter of public display.
In 1916, Gandhiji led a Satyagraha agitation for the blue cultivators of Champaran in Bihar. It was followed by similar agitations for the mill workers in Ahmedabad and Kheda farmers in Gujarat. These tears propelled him into the front line of freedom movement.
The British are introducing more and more rigid rules on our people in India. We must raise our protest against the recently implemented Rowlatt Act. All of us must observe a one-day strike and engage in prayers. The strike should be a non-violent one.
Heeding to the call given by Gandhiji, the country observed its first ever Hartal. The British was stunned by the new way of protest. Following this, Gandhiji was arrested. The arrest sparked mob fury.
We are treading a path of non-violence, and it's meaningless to continue if the agitation turns wild and ferocious. I think it's the time to put an end to this agitation.
But the British did not stop there. The British Army, led by General Dyer, fired indiscriminately at people who assembled at a public meeting in Jallianwala Bagh. The gory act left 379 dead and 1,200 injured.
What the British did to the people of Punjab is inhuman. We can no more believe in their moral values. We must take a tough stand against them. I'm not against the British, but against their dishonest and unethical principles. All our campaigns must be peaceful. We must not cooperate with the British. We must boycott schools, colleges, and courts. We must also shun all products made by the British, including their textiles.
Several hundreds of people resigned their government jobs and joined hands with Gandhiji.
Devdutt, you're boycotting classes on being asked what's his name? Gandhi. Oh, people like you will work with him, he'll oust the British, and he will assume power. What will be your fate then?
You are saying so as you know nothing about Gandhiji.
Why should I know? These days, nobody does anything without any motive.
You're wrong, my father. Gandhiji is different and exceptional. He has dedicated his life to serve the nation. He is treading the path of truth and non-violence and does not aspire to be wealthy or powerful. I have decided to quit the British educational system and join Deshiya Vidyapeeth, thus taking part in Gandhiji's non-cooperation movement.
The handloom sector has been thrown out of gear by the British. We must discard foreign dresses and opt for khadi materials. We should teach the British a lesson by this.
People who were excited with the non-cooperation movement overlooked the principles of non-violence. Violence was reported in various parts of the country. A police station at Chowri Chowra in Uttar Pradesh was set on fire, killing policemen on duty.
I am aware that the people were furious about British cruelty. But that does not warrant us to become cruel too. If we think in terms of an eye for an eye, then the world will be full of blind people. We must not forget our ideals. The non-cooperation movement is built on the pillars of truthfulness and non-violence. We have to call off this agitation because it can lead to more violence. Let's stop our civil law violation.
Gandhiji was arrested by the government.
I don't deny the charges accused against me. I know people are turning violent at times. I am not happy about it, and I am willing to pay the penalty for it. I will continue to try and make people aware about the atrocities of the British. They might look at it as a serious offence, but when you view it from an Indian perspective, you will realize that I am doing my part as an Indian citizen. As an educated person, if you think the laws of this government should be condemned and that I am not guilty, then put down your papers or else accord me with severe punishment.
This is the first time that someone's admitting to his offense without any defense. Mr. Gandhi, you are putting me in a dilemma. However, I cannot disobey the law of my land. You are therefore convicted for a 6-year jail term. But I am not doing it with delight.
Following his jail term, Gandhiji underwent a surgery and was under rest for a while. But even at that time, he was busy campaigning against untouchability and propagating khadi.
Bapu, Congress is aiming at complete Swaraj, nothing less than India's freedom. For that, we have to plan agitations, including violation of civil laws. Bapu, and you have to decide on such agitations.
The British rule is taxing our farmers. Even the salt for our daily use is being taxed. Whereas you are leading a life of luxury, Indians are finding it difficult to meet their ends. You can't allow people starve and die. If this letter does not bring the desired results, we will have to violate the salt law.
The British ignored the letter sent by Gandhiji. He began his march towards Dandi beach. India soon turned turbulent with widespread agitations. Several thousands of people who were assembled at the Dandi beach prepared salt from seawater and violated the rule. The British became worried. Hundreds of people were jailed. Even Gandhiji was not spared. Gandhiji arrived at London to attend the second Round Table Conference to decide on the future of India. The Round Table Conference was a failure.
Bapu, how was your national tour of India?
I got to know more about my country. The poor in our country are suffering a lot. It would be a great thing to uplift our villages. For ages, rural India has been suppressed both socially and economically. We must promote projects that will enhance the self-esteem of our rural folks, because India's soul lies in its villages.
Mr. Gandhi, I stand by my decision. We Muslims want a separate homeland, Pakistan, or else we will be cornered in an independent India.
Bhai Jinnah, India does not belong to any particular religion. Please don't divide the country. It has been a land where both Hindus and Muslims have lived harmoniously for ages. For me, they are never different from each other. I cannot look at India as two. Do you think all Muslims to support you? If so, you are gravely mistaken. It's only a small section that is with you in your demand for Pakistan. Many Muslims like me want India's freedom. Every nation will have people from different religions. All are expected to contribute to build a secular society. Partition is not the solution. We need absolute freedom. And I will not be contented with no less. We will have to fight till we attain freedom. I will provide you with a slogan. It should be etched in your heart. Do or die. We will not rest till we get freedom. But do not tread the path of violence and don't get provoked. I once again repeat that our path is one of non-violence, ahimsa. We are fighting against the British imperialism, not the British. Let the British imperialist leave India. Quit India.
But shortly before the onset of Quit India movement, Gandhiji and other prominent leaders of the freedom movement was arrested by the British. Gandhiji was kept at the Aga Khan Palace at Pune. As it was not properly guided, Quit India movement turned violent at several places and the government ruthlessly suppressed the agitators. And Kasturba took her last breath at Aga Khan Palace. The passing away of Kasturba after 67 years of married life left Gandhiji depressed. The British decided to put an end to its colonial rule in India. Lord Mountbatten was appointed the Viceroy of India on 24th March 1947.
Mr. Gandhi, I wanted to avoid the partition of India. But those who are vying for Pakistan are not conceding. In such a situation, forming a government would be difficult. Why should we wait till June 1948 for the exchange of power? Riots are raging across India. So, why don't we prepone it?
On 15th August 1947, India attained independence. And India also witnessed a partition. Jawaharlal Nehru was sworn in as the first Prime Minister of India. And in Pakistan, Jinnah was sworn in as the Governor General with supreme authority. At that point, when Delhi was celebrating independence, Gandhiji was spreading the message of peace in the riot-hit Calcutta. Several lakhs of people became refugees almost overnight. Calcutta riots turned violent, and matters were soon running out of control.
I will fast until peace restored in Calcutta. Maybe my fasting will bear more fruitful than my words.
The fasting of Gandhiji created ripples. Both the Hindu and Muslim leaders appealed to Gandhiji to put an end to his fasting.
Mahatma Ji, there are allegations that you are too soft when it comes to Muslims. Some people have turned against you.
Sardarji, both Muslims and Hindus are equally dearer to me, just like my own pair of eyes. I pray for their harmonious cohabitation.
Bapuji, you need to be cautious. An earlier attempt to throw a bomb at one of your meetings has to be taken as a warning.
Panditji, it's always better to die with your own brother's hand than out of illness. If someone kills me thinking that I am a traitor, then perhaps he will not be killing the real Gandhi. Maybe he will be killing a person whom he thought to be a traitor.
Gandhiji was shot at by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu fundamentalist.
Generations to come, it may well be, will scarce believe that such a man as this one, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth.